Say it. Apologize right now or clean out your desk. My boss snapped, loud enough for everyone to hear. I swallowed hard. For something I didn't do? He smirked, until the door opened. My name is Danielle Harper. I'm 34 years old. I work as a mid-level operations coordinator at a logistics company. Nothing glamorous, just steady work and long hours. I've always been the quiet one at work, the one who fixes problems without asking for credit. Growing up, I learned to keep my head down and prove myself through results, not noise. My family never had connections or influence. Everything I have, I built piece by piece. I wasn't rich or flashy, but I was reliable. And in my world, that mattered. The problem? People like my boss saw that as weakness. He treated loud confidence like competence and silence like guilt. For months, I watched him take credit for team wins and shift blame when things went wrong. I told myself to stay patient, keep working. It would pay off eventually. But what happened that morning? That wasn't just unfair. It was personal. If you've ever been blamed just because you stayed quiet, you're not alone. Subscribe and tell me your story. I read every comment. And if you've ever been pushed to take the fall for someone else's mistake, go ahead and click hype. Let's get into it. A major client complaint landed on our team early Tuesday morning. Shipment delay. Financial penalty involved. The email went out at 7:30, and by 9, my boss was already storming through the office like he owned everyone's air. He stopped right at my desk. His finger pointed straight at me. This has your fingerprints all over it. I looked up slowly, kept my voice level. I didn't even handle that account. He didn't care, didn't blink. Just turned and called a team meeting right there in the open floor. Everyone gathered around. I could feel eyes on me before he even started talking. He pulled up the client complaint on the big screen. Read it out loud. Then he said my name. Tied me to it without proof, without question. My coworkers stayed silent. Some looked down. Others looked relieved it wasn't them. Then he turned to me in front of everyone. You're going to apologize to the client. Today. To save this company's reputation. I shook my head. Calm but firm. I won't admit to something I didn't do. His jaw tightened. You either apologize in the next 5 minutes, or you're done here. The room went dead quiet. I opened my mouth to respond, and that's when the door opened. Someone I didn't expect walked in. A coworker pulled me aside right after the meeting, whispered low so no one else could hear. You know you weren't responsible for that account, right? I nodded. Waited. She glanced around. I can't risk my position. You understand, right? She walked away before I could answer. That same afternoon, my boss sent an email to HR and upper management. Subject line: documentation of performance issue. He twisted the facts, made it look like I had handled the account, like I ignored protocol, like the mistake was mine. I read it twice. My hands didn't shake, but my chest felt tight. HR scheduled a disciplinary meeting for Thursday. No investigation, no questions, just a meeting with my name on it. I realized then that the system wasn't neutral. It was already leaning his way. So I started documenting everything: emails, timestamps, task assignments, call logs. I went through my files like I was building a case, because I was. I stopped defending myself out loud. I started preparing in silence. My boss got more arrogant. He made comments in passing, mocked me in front of others. This is what happens when people don't speak up. He thought I was breaking, but I was connecting dots. And something didn't add up. What they didn't know was, I had already seen something they hadn't. I keep records. Always have. It's a habit I picked up early in my career. Save the important stuff. Review the details. Stay accurate. A few weeks earlier, I noticed my boss personally handling that client account behind the scenes. Late night calls. Private instructions. Bypassing the usual process. It felt off then. Now it made sense. I had a plan they never saw coming. I discovered a recorded internal call stored in the company system. Policy requires certain calls to be logged automatically. I pulled it up. Listened. The entire 6-minute conversation was there. My boss making the exact mistake he was blaming me for. ignoring protocol, giving bad instructions, knowing it could cause problems. I didn't act right away. I didn't need to. I let him talk. Let him build his case. Let him feel safe. Sometimes, the truth doesn't need to be rushed. It just needs the right moment. I reached out to Linda. She's a senior compliance officer. We'd worked together on a few projects before, and she always respected the way I handled things. I asked to meet her privately, showed her the recording, explained what was happening. She listened without interrupting. When it finished, she leaned back in her chair. Her face was calm, but her voice was serious. This changes everything. She told me not to reveal the evidence yet. Stay composed. Let the process move forward. Meanwhile, my boss kept acting like it was already over. He told people I'd be gone by the end of the week. Smiled when he said it. HR started preparing final paperwork for my termination. I attended every meeting, sat through every accusation, stayed quiet, but I wasn't afraid anymore. Linda had escalated the issue discreetly to upper leadership. I didn't know exactly when it would happen, but I knew something was about to shift. It all came to a head on Friday morning. My boss called me into the main office. Same room, same people. He stood at the front like he was running a trial. Last chance. Apologize or you're fired. I stood up, looked him in the eye. I won't apologize for something I didn't do. He opened his mouth to respond. Then the door opened. The CEO walked in. Linda was right behind him. The room went silent. My boss rose. The CEO didn't raise his voice. Didn't need to. Actually, we need to hear something first. Linda set up her laptop. Pressed play. The recording filled the room. 6 minutes of my boss's voice. Clear. Undeniable. Admitting decisions that caused the delay. Ignoring safety checks. Blaming others in advance. My boss tried to interrupt. This is out of context. The CEO cut him off. No, it's very clear. No one moved. Coworkers who had avoided my eyes all week were staring now. I stayed calm. Didn't gloat. Didn't speak. The CEO turned to me. Thank you for not backing down. My boss was confronted on the spot. Stripped of his authority. Removed from the room. The power shift was undeniable. I kept my position. HR reversed all disciplinary actions. Apologized for not investigating sooner. My coworkers started treating me differently. Some tried to be friendly again. I saw them clearly now. Linda became more than a colleague. She became a mentor. Someone I could trust. My boss faced an internal investigation. Lost his leadership role. I didn't celebrate. I just moved forward. I reflected on it later that week. Alone in my apartment. Quiet. I didn't win because I was louder. I won because I stayed ready. I learned that silence isn't weakness. When it's backed by truth, it's power. I walked into work the next Monday with my head up. Stronger. More confident. And no longer willing to be underestimated. Have you ever been blamed at work for something you didn't do? That pressure to stay quiet and just accept it. It's real. Share your story in the comments. Subscribe if you believe truth deserves a voice, even when it's uncomfortable. And if you've ever stood your ground when it mattered most. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Did this story hit home? Let me know by liking the video and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Click hype to help this story find others who felt the same way. Your support makes a huge difference, and your voice might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today.